Hello and welcome, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. So good to see you and thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to share with you a little bit of a concept. I don't really know what to call it, but I'm going to call it the foot shake, the handshake, right? So when you first meet somebody and you feel their feet and how they respond, you can get so much information from. So I'm going to call it a foot shake. So what can we learn from the foot shake? So one of the first experiences I had with the foot shake, I don't know what else to call it, so if somebody else can come up with a better name, please let me know in the comments below. But I'm going to call it foot shake for now. Because it's like a handshake, okay? So when you meet somebody, you shake their hand, and you can get a lot of information from them. You know, when you shake somebody's hand, some people want to like squish your hand and, you know, break every bone in it. Other people there's like a limp handshake where, you know, it feels like there's nobody on the other side of that. And then there's like right in between where it's, you know, they match your sort of grip and it's comfortable, right? So similar, when we work on people's feet, we get to, you know, get permission to work on their feet, and the way that we are able to move their foot or not, you know, sometimes people will help us with their foot, turning it for us as we're trying to do our little warm-ups and stuff like that. So that gives us a lot of information, right? So that's what I'm calling the handshake, the foot shake, actually. So one of my first introductions was when I was first learning reflexology, and I had my feet up, and my teacher came over to me, and right away she was able to tell the state I was in, right? So if I remember back then, I had just sort of broken up with a girlfriend, and I was looking for, you know, a new kind of career, and I fell upon, you know, reflexology. Sure, why not, right? So I'm in the class, and she's working on my feet, and right away, without actually doing any work or asking me any questions, she started to tell me some really interesting stuff about myself. She's saying that, you know, you've been, you know, not feeling good about yourself, not confident, and, you know, people have been able to push you around, and, you know, so that's just something to watch out for. I'm just like, huh? How do you know that? And she's like, sort of like, right now you're sort of in a victim state where, you know, people can easily, you know, push you in one direction or the other. And I was just like, well, how do you know this? And so I was just like, wow, okay, I want to learn everything she knows. But it's not really that difficult if you take it at sort of a face value. Meaning that when you're actually working with somebody and you feel their foot, you can get a lot of information if you just take it as the information that the feet's telling you, right? Basically, it's not that difficult to get some information, some really deep information from somebody just by the way that their foot moves. I'm going to cover three sort of main things that I see that are so common. But of course, again, there's so many different ways to see this, but I want to make it three because they're pretty standard. Like I already said, with the handshake, there's ones that's like rip your hands apart, you know, the floppy handshake, and the sort of like meet you in between. So let's get into it. First one is I'm going to reflect on my feet at the time, where I'll call them floppy feet. So when they were in the chair, they were kind of like this. And my teacher could tell from me just by moving my foot around, right? My foot sitting here, and if she went like that, my foot would move over there. If she went like that, my foot would move over there. If she pulled back, it would sort of flop that way and flop that way. The other one is the helper foot, right? Helper feet. And these are people that, you know, I also do massage, and so these are the people that, you know, I try to move their arm, and they're like helping me out in every way possible. But I'm sure you get this in your practice as well, where feet are in front of you and for example, you put a pillow underneath their leg and their leg's already up in the air and helping you out basically. So it's really great because these people are helpers, right? They want to help out in every situation. So this gives you a good indication of how they live their lives too. They're helping everybody. They don't want to, bother anybody. They want to do, not be in the way. They want to, help out in any way and possible form. But the funny thing is that they're coming to you to relax, but they're still helping. Right? So it's kind of funny. You're putting a pillow under their ankle and their foot's up in the air, and you're taking off their sock and they're basically like pulling back to help you out. And so as a reflexologist, it's kind of annoying because we want to be able to do the work for the person, right? But they're helping. So this just gives you an indication also of where and how they're living their lives, right? So a lot of stress in their lives comes from helping people all the time, and when they actually take time to get in your chair or your table or whatever to take time out for themselves, they're still working. Right? So this is a good indication of these people can be, tend to be, could be overstressed by helping everybody else. So it's great that they're in your chair. So that's good. So anyway, helper feet. The other one is kind of like the, I don't know, do not move me feet, right? They get up there and they're kind of like, here's my feet, work on them. And you get there and you're like, ooh, okay. And, you want to go this way and they're pushing you back this way, so you're pushing forward and they're resisting and pushing backwards. You want to rotate nicely around this way just because you're trying to figure out the range of motion that they have in their ankle. But they're like, nope, you're not going to do that. You're not going to, right? So these are the kind of people that don't, they're basically like, they might not trust you or the world, right? They're sort of like apprehensive of what's going on. So they want to like investigate, make sure that what they're doing in their life right now is fine before they move forward, right? So this gives you a lot of information as well about how people are literally living their lives, right? A lot of trust needs, you need time to build up trust with these kind of people that are really like rigid and, holding. So again, it's also, is it that they're resisting? Like you can feel it when you do this. You can definitely feel there's a difference between, are they resisting and maybe trying to go against almost? Or is there, are their feet really stiff, right? So there is definitely a difference here. So I'm not talking about stiff feet. What I'm talking about is they have a really strong resistance to being in the moment, right? To be there with you and allow what you're doing to them almost to happen or not happen, right? They want to control it. So these people tend to control everything down to little details in their life, right? So those three, like floppy sort of whatever feet, I'm going to help you do everything feet to, no, not without my permission, you're not going to move my feet, sort of thing, gives you a lot of information as to who you're working with and how you can work with them. So, the people that do not move my feet, right? So you might approach it as far as getting to know them a bit more. Maybe they need to trust you a bit more before they will allow themselves to relax and go with the flow, right? The floppy feet, it's really good to actually let them know. Like it was great information for me, for my teacher to tell me that, wow, people can push you around really easily, right? And I'm just like, oh, yeah, actually. And that's not what I want. I don't want people to, just kind of just push me along in life, right? Like I want to be able to make my own decisions and stuff like that. So that was a really good information for me to know as well. So I find it very valuable to, when you get these extremes, right? Of course, there's so many more subtleties in between these three kind of extremes. But when you see somebody who's constantly helping you, you can ask them, like, do you feel you're always helping people? And so when they hear stuff like that, maybe it will trigger a bit more of like, oh yeah, okay, maybe it's time that I actually ask for help or something like that, right? Whatever the solution that they think would be best for them, right? That's probably the right answer, right? So us always telling them what they need to work on is not going to be a good way. But I like to come across as, this is what I'm seeing in your feet. How does it relate to your life? And if it's a problem, do you think it might be worth changing? And if it is worth changing, how does that change look to you, right? So I don't know all the answers. I don't even know any answers, but I can get information from feet that I can share with the clients. And the brilliant thing about them is they know the answers, right? And that's really great. And so when you discover, at least for myself, when I discover my own answers, then that gives me a lot more motivation than for me to make a change, right? If somebody's just telling me, oh, you need to drink more water, I'm not going to do it, right? Where if I discover like, oh, okay, well that's why blank, blank, blank. Oh, okay, if I drink more water, then okay, good. So I'm going to drink more water that way, right? Or there's a better chance of it anyway. So I wanted to just make this video to share with you that you can get so much information from the foot shake. Again, somebody please give a better description. But until now, I'm just going to call it the foot shake. But there you go. Hopefully that was useful information. I find it really fun to blab about, obviously, because I'm still talking about it. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Let me know if you come across feet that are a little bit in between those, or if you have found the same information that I have, that would be great. Share it in the comments below. Until next time, this is Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch, and remember to keep those feet happy. See you later. Bye-bye. If you're interested in learning more about reflexology, you can subscribe to the channel below. It's also very helpful to hit that like button, and feel free to share it with anybody who you think might be interested in it. You can find my online courses, Reflexology Charts, and other reflexology goodies over on my website, which is balancingtouch.ca. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you have some more time, you can check out some other videos. Till next time, this is Adam Thomas from balancingtouch.ca. See you later.